Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how I made this plus size mesh stitch crochet top. I started out by referencing this video by Jenna Phipps, but as you can see, my top is very different than hers. I took lots of twists and turns. I learned new stitches. It was honestly a really good time, so let's get into it. I'm starting with a size 10 crochet hook, my yarn, and also Jenna's video pulled up here just for reference. So to begin, I'm going to make that slip knot. So I'm just going to cross this over here. Stick my fingers through that hole I created, grab the string, and pull it through. I want to tighten this just a little bit. You don't want it tight against your needle. And then I'm just going to kind of hook the extra string around my finger, like that. To make the chain, I've got this short end here in these fingers, and I'm just going to grab this end, wrap it back behind and around the hook, transfer this short piece to my other hand, and pull that through. Let's do that again. And again. And I'm just going to continue to do this until the shirt is as long lengthwise as I want it to be. So I'm just focusing on trying to keep the tension the same throughout so that everything looks nice and uniform. I don't want some of the hoops to be pulled much tighter than the others, right? I will say that Jenna's video is quite easy to follow. Like I said, I had crocheted quite a bit in the past, but it had been so long that I didn't remember how to do most of this stuff and needed the refresher. So her video I found very helpful, but also a complete beginner who has no idea what any of this is could also follow her video because she does a really great job explaining it. I made sure to stand up and measure this properly, but I've just measured this to the length of how long I want my shirt to be. I like my crop just a little bit longer. Now that we've got it as long as we want vertically, I'm going to start going horizontally, which means I need to turn this stitch around and bring it back this way. Let me show you how I'm going to do that. So I'm going to hook through the second loop here, hook, pull it through one, hook again, pull it through two. Let's do that one more time. So we're just going to hook it through this loop, hook, pull it through one, hook, pull it through two. When I mentioned to my mom that I was going to be crocheting this top, she very strongly cautioned me, do not forget the chain stitch. Apparently it's a very common thing to forget the chain stitch. So starting now and in between each row from now on, we're going to add one extra little chain stitch. So let me show you, literally just back behind. Whoop, 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 whoop. Hold on. Redo. Back behind. Pull it through. Now we're just going to go back in the opposite direction, the same thing we were doing before, except for now you can see we've got these two strings that we're going through. We're doing the same thing. Pull it through, loop once, loop it again, pull it through both. Find that next hoop, hook, pull it through one, hook again, pull it through both. Okay, I just got a little bit excited. Like, obviously we've got a really long way to go, but like you can see how this is gonna be a top, right? Okay, at this point, I'm going to just sit back, maybe put some music on, and I'm just going to repeat those last two steps over and over and over and over. This is actually the perfect activity for me to be doing right now. Recently, I was trying to figure out ways to fill my free time with indoor activities because it's been so hot. And this is going to take up quite a bit of that free time, so that's a good thing. Chibi came to keep us company while we work, which is perfect because this way he can cover my shirt with dog hair before it literally even exists. I've got this extra section of yarn here. I have no idea why they were disconnected, but I need to connect them back together. And this is something that I have never done in my previous crocheting. So I'm going to follow this video by Coco to do the magic knot and tie them back together. This is the end of the piece that I've been working with, and this is the beginning of the new piece that I want to add to it. I'm going to make a knot with this around this piece. Moving on to this end, we're going to bring this over, back behind, underneath, so that it looks something like that. And then we're going to bring this end through the loop and pull that one tight. Grab either end here and pull those two together. Again, just give a little tug to tighten everything. And I'm going to remove these little pieces here. What you doing, girl? You been drinking? All right. And that's your magic knot. Y'all left me unattended, and I ended up deviating from the plan completely. Well, not completely, I wouldn't say, but let me show you what I've got. I've got quite a lot of work done, actually. I'm a big bitch. I got a lot of crocheting to do, you know what I mean? This is the back of the shirt. This is the side. And then I've got another front, the front here. And I'm going to show you exactly what I did here, because I'm going to add another one of those panels here to make the other side. Following this tutorial from Cozie, Rosie, Crochet. All of the videos that I referenced throughout this video will be linked below in case you want to check those out and learn for yourself, because I think these tutorials are really, really helpful, actually. So you can see here, I've just finished my row. And we're going to do what Cozie Rosie Crochet calls the US double stitch, I believe it was. We're going to start with 4, and then we can get to work here. So I'm going to skip one and go to the second one. I'm going to loop, go through that second hole, loop, pull it through. Let me straighten it out so you can see here. I've now got 3 strings on this hook. Loop, pull it through 2, loop, pull it through 2, add 1 extra chain stitch. Oh, hold on, let me just go back. That didn't come out as clean as I was hoping. And add 1 extra chain stitch. Skip 1, go to the next, cross over first. I keep forgetting this part. Cross over first, into the second one, cross over, pull it through, cross over, through 2, cross over, through 2, chain stitch. Let's do that one last time. I know this one took me quite a while to learn last night, like literally several hours. I kept doing this very wrong. So we are looping through the second, looping, pull it through, loop, pull it through 2, loop, pull it through 2, do the extra chain stitch. So I ended this row on my second to last stitch. So in order to fill this last little gap, because we don't want it to start curving in, I'm going to skip the extra little stitch there and just wrap right around, go right into this last little section here. And I'm still pulling it through, wrapping it around, pulling it through 2, wrap, pull it through 2. That completes the end of our row here. Now, in order to have enough space to create the next row, we're going to do 4 of those chain stitches before going back in the other direction. So here though, let me show you, because this is where I really went wrong last night when I was trying to do it. I kept putting it into this top level of holes, the way that like all the rest of these stitches kind of go. Incorrect. So I wrapped around right through that, pull it through, and then same, where we're wrapping, pulling it through 2, wrapping, pulling it through 2. Don't forget your extra chain in between each one. Wrap, right through that big hole, wrap, pull it through 2, wrap, pull it through 2, extra chain. I messed up. I knew I would, but it's happened. So the longer this piece kept getting, like, I know I'm fat, but I just kept thinking, like, really? Like, it has to be that long to go around me? No. No, it does not. Basically, what I was doing was, if this right here would be the middle of the middle, I placed that there, and then this should be the middle on this side, and kept thinking, like, okay, like, if I just duplicate exactly this again for the back, it should be fine. It occurred to me after many hours of excess crocheting that my breasts take up a lot more space here in the front than my back is going to, and I have way over crocheted myself. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do from this point, because I'm a little lost now. Before I go any further, though, there were 2 thoughts that kept occurring to me while I was crocheting that I wanted to mention to you guys. One, if I pull too much yarn out of the skein at once, it tends to get tangled up, which was very annoying. So don't pull too much out. And secondly, I'll just remind you once more, don't forget the chain link at the end of each row, because then your line is going to end up all wiggly. Well, I've decided what must be done. I'm going to unravel all of this section. That will leave this section here. This will be the front. And then I'm just going to continue this stitch here all the way around the back. Like that. Once I got it to the proper length for me, I tied it off. And then I'm going to improvise a little bit here because I don't have the proper little, crochet knit needle. I don't literally even know what that thing is called. So I'm going to use a bobby pin, and it was definitely not quite as easy. You had to make sure that you weren't getting stuck as you were going through, which took a little bit of effort, but honestly, I'm not going to run out and buy a bunch of supplies. This is a new hobby. I don't even know if I'm going to stick with this hobby. Although I will say I'm enjoying it quite a lot, and I do already have another project in mind that I'd like to make. So maybe I should invest in one of those little needles that I see people using to actually sew this. But what I'm doing here is just using my makeshift needle and the loose ends that I had left there to sew this up. Okay, I've got the body of the top all done. I think that for the straps, instead of the just straight straps that Jenna did, I think I want to do like a triangle strap, because this is probably the bra that I would wear with it, and I want all of this covered ideally. So for one, I'm just going to mark here on the top, like here, and also, here and here with safety pins. And then I got it pulled up how high I'd like it to start. Also on the back. I'm gonna measure. I'm gonna start that just about. I know this isn't gonna be exact, but I want to have an idea. I don't know if this is working. Okay, I just want to have like an idea of how long I'm gonna want the straps. So I'm deviating from Jenna's tutorial a little bit for the straps, and I'm going to be following this tutorial instead by Skylar Crochets to make the straps, because like I said, I want them in kind of a V type of shape. So I'm starting here. I've got a chain of 6. I'm going to do a double stitch on the 4th stitch, chain 2, do a double on the next stitch over. And then do one last double on the last stitch here. This part gets just a little bit more difficult. I had to learn 2 new stitches that I had never learned before to do these straps. So this is where I'm going to let Skylar step in with the instructions for a minute here, because I can't do this without watching her do it with me, and I certainly wouldn't be able to explain it to y'all.
So that marks the end of row 1. You should have something that looks like this. Let's go on to row 2. Alright, now for row 2, you're going to make a chain of 3, turn your work, and you're going to go into the chain 2 space of the previous row, which is this one, and you're going to place a V-stitch. A V-stitch is 1 double crochet, chain 2, and 1 more double crochet into the same exact space. Then from here, you're going to skip over the next stitch and go on top of the chain 3 on the edge of the previous row and place 1 double crochet into it. So this marks the end of row 2. This is what you'll have. Now we're going on to row 3. You're going to make a chain of 3, turn your work, and go into the chain 2 space of the V-stitch and place a V-stitch. So 1 double crochet, chain 2, and 1 more double crochet into the same exact space, creating a V-stitch in here, and you go on top of the last chain 3 of the previous row and place a double crochet into the top chain of the chain 3. So this marks the end of row 3. We are going to repeat this until we have a total of 8 rows. So
Got those 8 rows like she said. Mine admittedly doesn't look exactly like hers, but she seems to be quite advanced when it comes to crocheting. So I'm just going to manage my expectations, you know what I mean?
So chain 3 into the chain 2 space of the previous row. This time, instead of placing a V-stitch, we are placing a shell, and a shell is 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets into the same space. So we've placed a shell into the V-stitch from the previous row, and then you're going to prepare for a double crochet and place 1 double crochet into the last chain 3 of the previous row. So just place a double crochet there. Now this is row 9. Now we're going on to row 10. For row 10, you're going to make a chain of 3, turn your work, and you are going to place a double shell. So a double shell is into the chain 2 space, you're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets,
Double crochet, 2 double crochets, 2 chain links, and those other 2, 1, and 2. There we go. Hmm.
2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets.
Oh wait. Did I stop her?
Like that.
Oh.
So now we have created 2 chain 2 spaces on row 10. After that, you're going to go into the very last stitch, which is the chain 3.
Okay. I think I'm supposed to do all of that again. Right here. That was 1.
Into the first chain 2 space, you're going to place a shell. So this one, you're going to place a shell, which is 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. Then you're going to place a V-stitch into the next chain to space, which is this one. A V-stitch is 1 double crochet, chain 2, and 1 more double crochet into the same space. Then you're going to go into the next chain to space and work a shell. So into this space, you're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets, which is a shell. And then you're going to place 1 double crochet into the last stitch, which is the chain 3. So make sure you go into the very top chain of the chain 3 from the previous row and place a double crochet there. So this marks the end of row 12. Now we're going on to row 13. You're going to make a chain of 3, turn your work. Into the first chain to space, you're going to work a shell. And by now you should be knowing what a shell is. 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. And then work a shell into the V-stitch. So this is the V-stitch. So into the next chain to space of the V-stitch, you're going to place a shell, which is 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets into the same exact space. Like that. And you're going to make a chain of 3, turn your work. Into the first chain to space, you're going to place a shell. So this one, you're going to place a shell, which is 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. Then you're going to place a V-stitch into the next chain to space, which is this one. A V-stitch is 1 double crochet, chain 2, and 1 more double crochet into the same space. Then you're going to go into the next chain to space and work a shell. So into this space, you're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets, which is a shell. And then you're going to place 1 double crochet into the last stitch, which is the chain 3. So make sure you go into the very top chain of the chain 3 from the previous row and place a double crochet there. So this marks the end of row 12. Now we're going on to row 13. You're going to make a chain of 3.
Ooh, I'm telling you, she's a little too advanced for me. Hold on, I'm still on the V. So we're doing a V right now, which means 1 double, 2 chains, and another double. Okay. And then she did another shell. So that's another. Wait, I don't know where to go. Right here? Right here? That seems too far away. Right here? Jesus Christ. I think I'm doing this kind of wrong, but it's turning out close enough. You know what? I'm just going to stick it right here. We got 1 second, 2 chains, a third, and wait, yeah, and a 4th. Jeez. And then connect this last. And we'll do the chain 3 because I think that I need 1 more row. And then to finish these off, I'm just going to leave this loop, cut that like that. Admittedly, this is the worst out of the 4 that I did. This one looks a little bit phallic. So next I'm going to just connect these two panels together. I'm going to take those two loose ends and just knot those very tightly. And then because I don't have the proper tool, again, I'm going to use this little bobby pin and do that sort of sewing thing. I'm just like wrapping it around a few times. And I'm just gonna like stick it through there and through there. We are seriously nearing the home stretch at this point. I'm just gonna sew these on with that same sewing method with that excess string that I left on there. Let me show you what I ended up with. I'm quite pleased with this top. This is absolutely a finished wearable top. I do think I'm going to redo it though. Basically because the longer I got into this single stitch right here, I just kept thinking like I'm still going to be so hot. I want this top to be like a beach or like a summer festival kind of top, right? And I just be sweaty, I guess, because this is still going to keep me too sweaty. I would redo the original top from Jenna's video with this stitch for more of like a fall vibe, and I think I will probably make that in like a brown or like some sort of color like that would be really fun. But for this particular top, I think I'm honestly going to take these straps off and keep them and just redo the entire body in this mesh stitching that I did in the back, because this is breathable enough that I could wear this to, like I said, a summer festival or something like that without dying. But this part, absolutely not. And I don't like that they're both together. It's like, it would look better if it were all the back or all the front. I don't like see how like this larger stitch comes down into this stitch. I just don't like it. Not that I don't like it. I do like it, but I just think I could like it a little bit better. I like this version so much better. This is breathable for the middle of summer. This is much more like what I had in mind. Plus, it's kind of cool to learn the double stitch, the V stitch, and the shell stitch as well. I'm honestly super pleased with myself. Thank you so much for joining me. If you liked that video, don't forget to hit the little thumbs up down below. Subscribe while you're hanging out down there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.